unicorn or natural habitat.
The walk. And those turns to us ever so slightly more like a waddle when I'm age regressing. Oh, I have more drawers of ice packs than I have of food.
Sounds about right.
Personal needs, am I right? Alright, let's go do some meditation. That sounds lovely. That's my unicorn ice packs. And drop my things. Because that sounds about right.
Natural habitat.
Exactly. I'm literally spending all of my time remembering where things are and picking up the things I dropped. People are like,
summary of the documentary.
pretty much. They're like, but you have so much time. You should be able to get so much done. And I'm like, you're cute. You're very cute. You well can. There we go. What we got? Yeah, let's do it backwards to do some graduation. Ready? Go. Just half. So I can look up with sun and down to shade.
This is one of over 100 self-healing techniques that Kristin independently cultivated and routinely applied during her great expansion of love, aka trauma recovery. This practice empowered mind-body connectivity and internal brain-body regulation, including throughout nervous systems and brain hemispheres. Dozens of chaotic inner realities prevented Kristin from experiencing clarity in her mind and presence with her body. By placing all conscious focus on individual sides of the body while moving in this slow fashion, while internally practicing meditation through loving presence, Kristin helped re-engage her prefrontal cortex, stimulate mind-body connectivity, and encourage communication between her two brain hemispheres, which had absolutely no instinctive connectivity during this time. I adjust my unicorn socks.
Yeah, it's the most important part.
They're still ripping. Okay, now we get to switch and go to this one. There, go to. This is another of the many healing journey exercises that Kristin cultivated and applied daily. It helped bring her conscious focus into the present moment to re-engage her prefrontal cortex and encourage mind-body connectivity while balancing brain hemispheres and various nervous systems. The practice gradually helped Kristin rewire her brain so her body could automatically perform these functions that had been reduced dramatically due to the severity of traumatic stress. Alright, that's perfect. Now we go to
What's up?
I forgot to check for bees. I gotta go around the bees. Can I cross, my friends? Thanks,
so.
friends. I just want to
Documented.
go around, but you can't keep playing into water. You can't play into water all day long. I'll just be over here.
It's all my friends.
This part is so fascinating to me. A switch occurs due to consciousness independently flowing between the two brain hemispheres. Vibrational signals of stimulus input adjusted neural activity from Kristin's right brain hemisphere to her left brain hemisphere. In this process, she moved where she was sitting due to how her brain body activity was processing her surrounding reality. Absolutely fascinating to explore the neuroscience of personal experience, especially within uniquorders, or unique order of neural wiring within the neurobiological social engagement system, such as adaptable consciousness condition.
Oh, one of them ran away. One of them went away, but this is Pookie Bear, and that is Angel underneath Pookie Bear. He's my favorite friend. Look at him. Hello. Hello, friend.
Tell me more about Pookie.
Pookie's the best bear ever. He's the best bear I could ever ask for. I got Pookie Bear. We got Pookie Bear in spring 2013, and that was just right before everything. Like the time of raising him was right before the dissociative blackouts began again. It happened in high school, and then in adulthood they started in 2014 when I was 21. Angel, no, I'm just petting Cookie, sorry. I know, I'm so picky. It's because I don't really feel a connection. I touch her and I'm just like, I don't know what you are.
Because Kristin experienced zero grounded presence in the moment, her ability to experience reality was dependent upon memory activation. But her memories were profoundly disintegrated, or extensively overcoupled and undercoupled, rather than harmoniously coupled and integrated through traditional neural connectivity. Due to this neuroscientific reality, she could not tangibly feel a cat that she was not familiar with. Because of many years of emotional connection with Pookie Bear, she was able to feel his presence because the vibrational signals of that activated memories and projected a sense of consistent personal reality, including a sense of familiarity and emotional connection.
Mago's man. Mago's. Mago's babagoo. Babagoo boo boo doo boo boo. Yeah. Oh. Pookie Bear's been with us through a lot of different moves. He and I drove in this truck, like so many times.
Did you first get him in Colorado?
Huh?
Did you first get him in Colorado?
Yeah.
Here?
It's so beautifully, miraculously wondrous to witness the bodily postures of age-regressive states of consciousness. As I watch this now, even without memory of it, I see a child engaging in a body, not an adult self. It's so miraculous and intriguing, beautifully divine and wondrous, magical on every level possible.
I lived here in 2013, and then went back to Colorado. In Colorado the first half of 2013, and then was here from June to December 2013, and then I went back to Colorado after that. Yeah, you licking me? Thanks, baby. That helps me feel you. That helps you feel a little real. Yeah, that helps you feel real. Thanks. Give me another kiss. Please. Please, Baba. Oh, I love your little kisses. They're my favorite Pookie Bear kisses. Pookie's very special because Pookie Bear is real to all of my parts, where most things in physical reality are not. And so he has literally saved our life. During our last suicide attempt, January 2014.
It's actually kind of ironically hilarious. That was not the last suicide attempt, but because of disintegrated neural data, she didn't have access to that information.
He was the reason that we were able to have a moment of clarity through the dissociative episode, as we were unconsciously reliving trauma we didn't even know that we had. And so he's just been like a really amazing grounding resource, and just such a little friend blessing when we couldn't even like communicate with other people very well. And I understand that now, because in that time my left brain hemisphere was not exactly contributing to the conversation within my consciousness, and so being able to feel him and just like see his eyes and just feel his energy and have those interactions where verbal narrative wasn't required was really profoundly healing, and continues to be so. Yes, hello.
Going through this.
It's my widow safe haven. Okay. Oh, this is my card of the day. It was so perfect. The 2 sentences that stood out. Let go of your people-pleasing habits, and you are your first priority and deserve to take up all the space you need.
I love it.
Okay, it's a pretty card. It's to look at the things.
I'm looking at it.
And no, we get to look at the things, and then it helps us to see the things. Gonna go and use my coping music playlists because they're the best. I've been making them for years and years and years.
When we first became disabled from the dissociative blackouts, coping music playlists were all we had. They were our first big coping tool, and so we've been making them since 2014. They're amazing.
I can't think. I have to pick a song, but that song is distracting me.
Midday meditation. What about this one? The Road Less Wandered. That sounds like a good meditation. I am exactly where I need to be. I am exactly who I am. Doesn't even make sense. I embrace, celebrate. I try to create affirmations based on what needs to be heard within my consciousness.
And then she says them until we tell her if it's right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess you could do a little more. Might be enough. I release what no longer serves me. I choose freedom. I choose life. I choose me. I release what no longer serves me. I choose freedom. I choose life. I choose me. I release what no longer serves me. I choose freedom. I choose life. I choose me. I release what no longer serves me. I choose freedom. I choose life. I choose me. I release what no longer serves me. I choose freedom. I choose life. I choose me. Understand the inner specifics so that I can find effective healing remedies and revive hope into the spirit of my existence. It has been depleted for so long, I forgot that I had one. And no one will ever have to wait 12 years to gain their life back. When I do oxygen and my sympathetic is engaged and my sympathetic parts are fronting in the body, it feels nice. It feels like it brings clarity and stuff. It feels like it brings some balance to our thought processes and ability to regulate and observe and whatnot. But with the parasympathetic state, every single breath is a shock, as if the body's not getting any oxygen. So when I use my language centers without the reliable, consistent conscious access to my left brain hemisphere, the way that it does is I see the words in my mind and I pronounce them. And so, what was the word? Transpire.
Mm-hmm.
When I say a word like transpire, and I'm enunciating each letter in a very articulate, meticulous, explicit sort of manner, it's because the language is not coming in an automated fashion, and instead I'm having to rally with my dissociative parts of consciousness and ask them to feed me visuals of what the word would assemble to be like, and from there I can guess about the pronunciation. And so that's why I say the word dissociative differently. When I'm more present, it's dissociative. Wait, no, maybe that's not. I think it's the other way around. Yeah. I thought it was present. JK. There's two different ways I say it though. Dissociative versus dissociative. I enunciate the I explicitly when I'm not fully conscious in my consciousness, because I'm reading the word and pronouncing each letter, hoping that I say it correctly. Because if I say things the way they come out naturally with dissociative parts, I'm feeling the vibration of what I'm saying. I'm not hearing the words, and so little casual things get jumbled. Like the word arm comes out arn. I can guess what it is based on the context, but the word's not very explicitly, clearly, concisely conveyed. And so reading the words within my mind is how I've been communicating through the dissociation for a very long time. Cut!
That's true. I thought you might not like the sound of a clapper too.
In the same way that sitting down and tuning into left brain abilities of organization and language center application, physical world in a very adultish manner, the same way that agitates child parts of consciousness because it does not work with their neurobiology, in that same exact manner, a lot of the play therapies that we do can be very agitating for me because my natural state is to be disconnected from the body, and I like it that way. But they need to be able to feel the body and interact with their environment in a non-verbal manner in order to be present. And that works with their neurobiology, but goes against mine. And it's things like that that show me the validity of this this disorder. And
Whoa, no, take two.
I know, I was dissociating there.
Validity of it.
I gotta go to the groove.
Yeah, I have been very fascinated by the science of dissociative identity disorder because the mental health industry is very much about subjective perceptions of external specifics. And with that approach, the healing I was offered for 8 years left me homeless, disabled, and chronically attempting suicide, and just miserable in every manner of the thing. And so I've been fascinated by the science of dissociative identity, sort of trying to understand the inner specifics so that I can find effective healing remedies and revive hope into the spirit of my existence. It has been depleted for so long, I forgot that I had one. Meeting it again has been really... Don't look at me, that messed me up!
Sorry.
I can't do eye contact, only child parts can.
Okay, I won't do it again. Only watching the screen.
Thanks, Fred. all the things. So this, for example, there would have been a lot of judgment for this little thing happening where I need to grab things around me and hold tight. But now that I've picked apart the neurobiology of my life experience through over a dozen states of consciousness within my dissociative identity, lost my spot.
Picking apart the neurobiology.
Huh? Oh, no, I picked apart.
Yeah.
Picked apart.
Exactly.
I picked apart.
Is
Picked apart.
that going to be your new phrase?
Whoa! I just saw the coolest thing.
What was it?
A dove.
Mm.
But little see everything in slow motion, and so watching it fly overhead, I see it in slow motion now that I have co-consciousness with them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is because my vestibular system is not engaging, and my consciousness is having a difficult time engaging in the present moment in the desired manner, where I am a grown woman communicating to another grown woman for the intent of a specific outcome, purpose, present with the process sort of scenario. Lost it. I could like half a sentence at a time. As soon as I hit the comma, that's what it is. As soon as I hit the comma, it's gone. They're like, punctuation! What do we do? Because I associate with punctuation goes. And that's how I can tell when someone's like dissociated. When like I know someone and I know they live with chronic dissociation in a way that I do. When they have punctuation and they don't have punctuation, when they're typing, I can tell they're, less present, less within their verbal language centers in a conscious manner.
I don't know if
How are you doing?
Hmm?
How are you doing?
Huh?
How are you doing? Tell me about yourself.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. I'll interview you at some point.
What do I tell you?
What's your name?
My name's Abby.
And tell me more about what do you like to do? What makes you a unicorn?
Sounds easy.
Exactly.
Lost it. We went to go find the words, but because we don't have co-consciousness right now, I look to the left, going into the left part of my consciousness through left brain hemispheric engagement, going to the left peripheral vision. Got a really bad headache after that. Oh. That just happened because I remembered something. But when I remember things, when I feel things, it's in my body, not my brain. Or not my mind, I should say.
Yeah.
It's in my body, not my mind. Take you. Boogie Bear, no, that's mine. Oh, those people, quick hide. Quick hide. Oh god.
Okay, Baba.
Hey, Marcus. Oh, that made me nauseous. I need to do more oxygen.
Okay, you want to go in? Let's do it. Goodbye, world.
No, I want the world to stay.
Okay, the world can stay. Say hi, world.
Along Kristin's healing journey while experiencing chronic age regression, the number 2 was kind of a thematic occurrence. During intensive periods of age regression and unique neurobiological activity, Kristin could not access language centers in her left brain hemisphere. There were periods of time where Kristin could physically not speak except for the word to. In addition, Kristin age regressed to 2 years old for several years, adding to the deep meaning behind the number 2 along her healing journey. In this moment, she puts up the number 2 with her left hand, as her right brain hemisphere expresses loving presence. Throwing up the number 2 was a way to communicate that she was here and she was okay, but she couldn't get to her left brain, and there were child aspects of consciousness present.
Ooh, Abby.
Abby cannot directly talk about herself. That's really fascinating. She can talk, but only in like a responsive way, not a premeditated thought way.
Yeah.
I think that has to do with my theory about age regression involving Broca's aphasia. Or was it Wernicke's aphasia? No, that was protective parts. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Broca's.
Broca's aphasia. The way we discovered that was because of how we say to when we're age regressed. And I was watching a crash course video. Shout out. They're amazing stuff. I love learning through them. They're
What?
Crash course video?
I'm hungry.
Okay.
Hold everything. Let's admire the neurobiological miracle of an unconscious switch in this unicorder of adaptable consciousness condition, ACC, which you can discover more about in my Implicit Revelations case study at kristinwindsor.com/known. This switch of consciousness happens so fluidly, so quickly, so miraculously, so automatically, and so wondrously. Kristin experiences a profound and instantaneous switch of consciousness as her neurobiology adjusts from an adult state of engagement, emphasizing the left brain hemisphere and forebrain, to a child state of engagement, especially deriving from the right brain hemisphere and hindbrain.
The way we discovered that was because of how we say to when we're age regressed. And I was watching a crash course video. Shout out. They're amazing stuff. I love learning through them. They're
What?
Crash course video?
I'm hungry.
Okay.
The brain is so miraculous. Did you see how quickly that happened?
amazing stuff. I love learning through them. They're
What?
Crash course video?
I'm hungry.
Okay. You want to finish telling me, friend?
Huh?
You want to finish telling me, friend?
Now I'll go to Ocean Snack Shack.
Okay. Should we share?
Because of how trauma responses were trapped in Kristin's body, she entered a dorsal vagal collapse where her body unconsciously relived implicit or unconscious memory fragments from original traumatic experiences during early childhood. All of those horrific sensations and their associated trauma responses throughout various nervous systems were automatically relived every time Kristin ate food. Ocean was the name of a child state of consciousness affiliated with some of the foundational trauma that disrupted her neurodevelopment and resulted in living with adaptable consciousness condition. As Kristin sculpted her own healing path, she created a series of rituals that helped eating be not so scary, and there were a myriad of things that happened around eating time to allow for the trauma responses to arise with minimal damage to parts of consciousness, basically. And part of that was creatively naming this Ocean's Snack Shack, a special place in Kristin's heart where space was created for her child parts of consciousness to come out and eat, since they were affiliated with that activity in the nervous system and associated brain regions. I love learning through them. They're
What?
Crash course video?
I'm hungry.
Okay. You want to finish telling me, friend?
Huh?
You want to finish telling me, friend?
I want to go to Ocean Snack Shack.
Okay. Should we show the world?
Snack attack at Ocean Snack Shack. Snack attack at Ocean Snack Shack. Yeah, snack attack at Ocean Snack Shack. Yeah, it's time for snacks at Ocean Snack Shack. On behalf of Ocean, I invite you to join a personalized experience dining at Ocean Snack Shack. In 2017, the state of consciousness known as Ocean was about 2 years old, or maybe even younger. When these videos were filmed in 2019, she was approximately 4 to 6 years old. 1 year later, in 2020, that child state of consciousness was progressing through the stages of adolescence that she never got to experience because of how trauma halted her neurodevelopment. And so in 2020, even though the body was a grown adult, the child state of consciousness known as Ocean was experiencing the adolescence that she never got to be a part of because she had been stuck and frozen in time, trapped in the neural data associated with trauma. Once that implicit data was healed, she was free and gradually progressed through the stages of neurodevelopment that she never got to experience. One of her final acts as a child state of consciousness before growing up into the adult I am today was creating a healing journey experience called Delicious Magic Play Shop. And it is a priceless, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to cultivate your healing journey in a profoundly transformative fashion. From igniting self-love to practicing mindfulness, this Delicious Magic Play Shop allows you to cook healthy food in a way that feeds your body, mind, and spirit. Explore more healing journey magic at kristinwindsor.com/healing videos. Delicious magic and playful adventures await you. Snack-a-lackin'. Does that mean he's snacking or lacking snacks to snack? Snack-a-lackin'. Does that mean he's snacking or lacking snacks to snack? P.S. Discover more about Kristin's unique experiences with creating comedy bits when she discusses various styles of dissociation in thesis number 27 of her Implicit Revelations case study. Exploratory adventures await at KristinWindsor.com/known.
You want to finish telling me, friend?
I want to go to Ocean Snack Shack.
Okay. Should we show the world how you get to Ocean Snack Shack?
No.
Okay.
What was I saying before?
You were talking about the crash course video and why you say...
Whoa!
Yeah. Basically, you're talking about why you say 2 when your age regress.
Whoa! Forgot about that? That was so long ago.
3 minutes and 28 seconds ago.
No, it was 3,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Back with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's all so miraculous. It had been less than 1 minute. But because of the switch of consciousness, Kristin had zero conscious memory of what she was just talking about. When she was reminded about what she was talking about, it kind of came back and it felt like it was 1,000,000 years ago. It felt like it was 3,000 years ago, as she described it, even though it was literally less than 1 minute ago that she was talking about that. Because the switch of consciousness had wiped clean her short-term working memory. And so the instinctive neurobiological capacity to recollect what was being discussed 60 seconds prior wasn't accessible in a traditional fashion. And when reminded about what was happening a minute ago, it felt like a memory from a very, 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 very long time ago. So miraculously fascinating.
The way we discovered that was because of how we say 2 when we're age regressed. And I was watching a crash course video. Shout out. It's their amazing stuff. I love learning through them. They're
What?
Crash course video?
I'm hungry.
Okay. You want to finish telling me, friend?
Huh?
You want to finish telling me, friend?
I want to go to Ocean Snack Shack.
Okay. Should we show the world how you get to Ocean Snack Shack?
No.
Okay.
What was I saying before?
You were talking about the crash course video and why you say...
Whoa!
Yeah. Basically, you're talking about why you say 2 when your age regress.
Whoa! Forgot about that? That was so long ago.
3 minutes and 28 seconds ago.
No, it was 3,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Back with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I know, right?
If dissociative switches occurred every 5 to 30 seconds, and every single switch completely reset the brain's working memory and how memories were being accessed to navigate the moment and stored as new moments were processed into neural data, then a 3-minute experience could potentially feel like 6 completely different encounters, each with a completely separate or independent orientation in time and space, according to how automated neurobiological activity was engaging with unfolding realities. So miraculous, astounding, and beautifully divine. No matter who we are, what we're going through, the brain is a miracle, consciousness is a miracle, and the human experience is a miracle.
No, it was 3,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Back with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, I need the song. It helps stimulate my language centers.
Crash course video.
2, right?
Yeah.
Crash course video, and he was talking about a situation where a man had a stroke and it caused Broca's aphasia. And in that experience, he lost the ability to communicate with the exception of saying the word to. The only word he could physically say after having this stroke was the word to.
It's important to note that this adult state of consciousness was not able to continue speaking because she specifically remembered the moment prior where she was expressing this idea. Instead, her brain was able to get to the original thought forms of wanting to share this idea. Very unique access to memories to navigate unfolding moments.
Oh, I need the song. It helps stimulate my language centers.
Crash course video.
2, right?
Yeah.
Crash course video, and he was talking about a situation where a man had a stroke and it caused Broca's aphasia. And in that experience, he lost the ability to communicate with the exception of saying the word to. The only word he could physically say after having this stroke was the word to. And my severely age-regressed child states of consciousness within my dissociative identity were experiencing that. And I found that, I mean, my jaw just like dropped, like super massive whoa. And so, yeah, we've just piecing together the science of my experience has given me validity in my experiences, has given me an outlet to understanding and describing, like putting language to that experience, for processing sake, for expression of the validity of its sake.
Yeah.
I know. There's so many. I'm distracted. It's a lot of me.
Yeah.
There's that many in our brain. Let's just see. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Question for Felicity. When that's happening, what's your awareness of it like, if that makes sense? Like, what are you experiencing when you can only say two? If you're experiencing anything.
Originally, nothing.
Yeah.
Because without the language center, the ability for internal narration is also gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I can only describe that experience now that I have language centers and the awareness of losing them.
Yeah.
Before, it was one or the other with complete amnesia between the experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And so before there was no description of the experience. There was no experience
Yeah.
of it. No, there was no conscious experience of it. I should say that. There was no conscious experience of it, because to have a conscious experience of it, you have to have the ability for your conscious awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gone in those dissociative states. You have parts of the brain that create that neurobiological capacity to possess and exert the gift of sanity are completely inaccessible in a very physical manner in those dissociative states of consciousness that are occurring 100% beyond all conscious awareness and control. It's occurring completely within the unconscious. Even the subconscious is just kind of being activated consequentially between things. It doesn't have a mind of its own in the way that I was first taught to understand parts. When I was first introduced to the concept of having parts,
it was expressed that everything they did was very consciously done.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything they did was intentional. And that caused so much harm, because I'm just like, all right, so now you're telling me that what I thought was wrong wasn't wrong all of these years. And instead what's wrong is there's these other people living in my brain doing things that intentionally destroy me. Like, are you serious right now? And there's nothing you can like do about this? Like, are you kidding me? And that was like the hope I was left with 2 years ago. And so there's been a lot of liberation in creating my 5 layers of human consciousness, creating life experience model of explaining what consciousness is, how it operates, how it's created, how it interacts with one another, how it impacts the experience out here, where our power is within it, what's automated, how can we influence it, all of it. Exploring the 5 layers of consciousness has helped me understand what's happening and differentiate the unconscious neurobiology of my experience from the subconscious parts of consciousness within my dissociative identity from what I actually have moment to moment conscious awareness, control, and power of. And that's given me a lot of freedom and power and truly just liberation, like more than anything, just liberation from my own self-judgment, from the hopelessness of my situation, from the fear of never, getting to a better place. And so to be able to find this validity for my parts and myself, a lot of things kind of benefit subconscious or conscious awareness, but to find this thing where we get to explain all of it together and how to work with one another. The unconscious body suffers from trauma, my subconscious mind has dissociative parts, and my conscious awareness lives with dissociative amnesia. And just kind of having this grasp of distinction between the experiences can help me know that when I'm switching out, when parts are experiencing these things, it's happening completely beyond their conscious control. Because I understand how their aspects of consciousness work in a neurobiological manner and a psychological manner. And through personal interaction and experience, applying that knowledge now in a personal manner. And so with that reach into my consciousness, I can be a leader and I can be there for my parts. When before it was, they had to be there for me because there was never an opportunity to do anything other than just survive. And we have successfully created that opportunity for ourselves in the past year, especially. But we've been fighting for this for years. We've been in and out of mental health treatment for like 8+ years. I first went to therapy 12 years ago. And I first started looking into it of my own accord 8 years ago. My first semester of college, I wrote a 15-page research paper about major depressive disorder, which is my diagnosis at the time. And then in 2014, it changed to bipolar and PTSD. And then over the years, they looked at all sorts of other things. They were like, well, is it schizoaffective? Is it major depressive with psychotic features, and bipolar with psychotic features was like what they were entertaining for a majority of the time, I think. And then in 2017, so 2 years ago, 12 years after first going to therapy during dissociative episodes, I got a diagnosis. And my hope is that when people are experiencing what I was experiencing, there will be awareness and tools freely and publicly accessible, and no one will ever have to wait 12 years to gain their life back.
And after completing a vocalized expression of ideas, both of Kristin's hands throw up the number 2 as her child parts of consciousness return to the scene. fascinated to explore this mirror exercise more. I think we're really onto something with direct communication to the unconscious, subconscious. And I'm fascinated to kind of piece together the things of like the emotional sensations, very peculiar things I'm experiencing, and I would appreciate a deeper understanding in them so I know how to respond better. But this mirror stuff is definitely a really powerful tool for recognizing things, and I'm curious why there would be specific tension here on both sides when in that particular area of the mirror exercise. And I go, if I'm up here in the top left and then above with this meditative mirror exercise, personal dimensions meditative mirror exercise, like seeing my body there, I feel sensations in me of like, whoa, what? Just confusion and baffledness and wonder and like fear, disorientation, like a variety of emotions as soon as I see my physical self. And when I move my hand, this motion that I see in the mirror is not the same motion that I see out here as I look at it. This doesn't exist to me. That looks real. It's like the opposite of a ghost. I can see myself in a mirror, but not in real life. I love you guys so much. You guys are my miracle. And I'm so lucky to have you. Like, literally, luckiest girl alive, because you are here in my consciousness with me. I love you. Because I love you. Rest in it, nest in it, fully be blessed in it.
This video was privately recorded on September 7th, 2019. During this miraculously unique healing journey season, she was living with adaptable consciousness condition, a unique neurodevelopmental condition where different persons, independent states of consciousness, develop through one brain and body. It's a miraculous adaptation of the neurobiological social engagement system of the unconscious body-mind. And it develops in relation with disrupted attachment development and chronic and or intensive severe trauma during the early stages of brain-body development, during early childhood. And at this particular point of the healing journey season, she was experiencing over 100 health challenges, over 100 distinct types of dissociation that she specifically identified through her Implicit Revelations case study, which is available through the Implicit Revelations gift package, one of the many offerings through Kristin's consciousness consultancy. And she was living with a profound mind-body disconnect. And there was no relationship between the inner reality of multiple states of consciousness and the outer reality of stimulus from the physical world. On September 7th, 2019, when this video was recorded, she was at a point where she had finally pieced together the details of the suppressed childhood trauma at the foundation of all health challenges. And she had just reached the critical peak of the most intensive and severe trials of transmuting the underlying causalities of all battles, including several weeks of intensive dissociative blackouts, while the root, core, foundational, most severe aspects of the traumatic condition were being transmuted by allowing them to fully come to the surface and be lived and experienced, and through that, transmuted, transformed, released, and gradually healed from.
And just because life enjoys being as fascinating as could possibly be, she could not create new conscious explicit memories at all during this season. And so, between minutes and hours and days and weeks and months, for several years, there was no continuity or awareness of anything that had been happening. The unconscious body-mind was recording every sensation and movement through unconscious memories, but conscious explicit memories could not at all be created during this unique season because of all the various health challenges. In this video, she is connecting with inner child self aspects by listening to a song that she knew during early childhood and singing along with the melody while creating new lyrics and grounding in the awareness of herself to sing love songs to the experiencer of herself and transform and heal and reclaim power within the attachment systems at the foundation of the unconscious body-mind. Rather than diving into the infinite myriad of health challenges, it was much more effective to create new implicit or unconscious memories in relation with healing internal attachment systems. Why heal the existing foundation of the unconscious body-mind when you can simply create a new one? In this video, the self who is looking into the mirror is the awareness of her adult self, and the self she is singing to in the mirror are childhood self aspects. And this distinction and connection through loving presence and self-attunement while nourishing internal attachment needs, growing attachments with the self and fulfilling specific needs by creating a felt sensation of their fulfillment, this process created deeper healing than she ever could have dreamed possible.
Your love is in my heart.
We're allowed to trust. There's two different people I see, because my identity, my own physiology, has played the greatest trick on me, where the aspects of a person are split deep within, creating multiple persons within one being. Two separate features of Kristin Winter. I wish the world could see me the way I feel me. Maybe then I would feel free to finally be me and just be without having to see who I am. Because my neurobiology likes to play tricks on me, just playing tricks on me through my physiology. It's evolutionary. It's evolutionary. The way my neurobiology likes to play tricks on me.
We just did our circular first version of the meditative, personal dimensions meditative mirror exercises. It was like a full body relaxation feeling as we did this exercise. Want to keep exploring it. I think there's some deep power in this, and I think it could be used for a lot of things. Everything from not recognizing yourself in the mirror because of something's going on in the brain to anxiety and depression and insomnia. Potentially this could touch on all of them if it really rallies the consciousness, regulates the nervous system, regulates the brain waves in this way. But we're all together right now, and so we can kind of track things a little bit better and articulate things better. And there's something legit going on. Light rays. Something legit going on through this exercise, and I'd like to explore it more. We're all separate faces with different eyes, and I'm very curious about this. I'm definitely not tripping out or anything. This is something very real, and it's something that my brain is doing, and I'd love to find out what it is.
It feels like the me that I am inside is a different me than the me that I am seeing. The me that's thinking and feeling is different from the me that's speaking, and the me that's speaking is different from the me that is processing. like listening to the speech and seeing the self who is speaking, it all feels like it's separate. It looks like two different people having a conversation to my mind. Two completely separate people I see. And neither of them are me. The me that's observing this inside is not either of those people that I'm seeing. And it's not because I'm crazy, it's because the neurophysiological applications of my consciousness developed through division to cope with traumatic stress. And the development of my neural pathways never made the natural connections, so they made their own unique connections. Perspective of self is divided within its neurophysiological development of my consciousness.
Kristin first created and utilized the idea of mere play with mere power through a series of daily exercises that profoundly helped rewire her brain-body systems. She used mirrors for thousands of hours during 2018, 2019, and 2020. And these daily practices helped rewire neural connections and create new unconscious associations to shift automated navigation and regulation in her unconscious body-mind. However, she could not create conscious memories during this time, so she did not have any memory of creating these mirror practices, even though she had been using them for thousands of hours. Sun gazing was often combined with her daily mirror practices from 2018 to 2020, which is shown here in this video from November 2019.
Many me's. Many me's. Many me's. Many me's. Many me's.
Most powerful ways that we connect with our parts, because it connects all the four main brain regions that can often become disconnected.
What is time, right? It just flies when you're having so many profound miracles happen nonstop. As I learned to fall in love with the questions and not need the answers. The question is, could there be a way to use mirrors to identify elements of subconscious realms that still need healing and to specifically heal those specific details, with how vast and infinitely complex unconscious body minds are? Could there be a way to use mirrors to pinpoint what needs to be healed and specifically heal it? So the end result would be you go through this process of using mirrors, you use that process to identify what needs healing, and then you have like 1 to 5 mirror practices that you do 5 to 15 minutes every morning and evening, and after a few months those subconscious elements are healed, or a few years, just depending on the severity. So that's the preface to this. That's what's led up to this. I had a question, so I've been exploring it. Tonight,
At the beginning of 2021, Kristin's unconscious body-mind had just completed the halted stages of neurodevelopment that resulted from suppressed childhood trauma. Her brain hemispheres finally had connection again, various systems finally regulated, and she was able to create new conscious memories for the first time in over 4 years. Yet she could not remember her entire life due to intensive amnesia.
I want to know all of me. I want to know every part. I want to see everything that's happened that I've missed these past few years. I want to see every part of me. Because, my darling, you are divine perfection. And every part of me is worthy of being known. The artistry of existence astounds me. I am forever amazed. I stand awestruck and ever amazed.
So looking directly in the mirror I'm holding, I see my normal parts of consciousness in my first subconscious layer. And then looking in the mirror and seeing the me behind me, who is looking in the mirror, reveals my second subconscious layer with guardian and nightingale parts. And then the me in the mirror that they are looking at reveals my third subconscious layer where Muppet parts inhabit. And I, the observational self who is here looking in the mirror, I am the conscious awareness. I'm not a part of the inner experiencer. I am the observational self. I am distinct. I am the observational self. These are my normal parts of consciousness in my first subconscious layer here. And then when I look in the mirror and see the me sitting behind me who's looking in a mirror, that's my second subconscious layer with guardian and nightingale parts. And then the me who is in the mirror. So I look in the mirror and I see the me that the me is looking at in the mirror. And that's my third subconscious layer, or 4 layers down from the conscious awareness, and that's where my inner child lives, Muppet parts of consciousness. Mirrors can be used in a million different ways to connect various aspects of consciousness and improve neural connectivity within the unconscious body-mind. Even without working with the information stored directly in the neural wiring, this can help improve and expand the way that neural data is able to connect, communicate, and collaborate for optimal well-being. Creating new associations with self. Working directly with the unconscious mind. Wow. I can't even right now. I just can't even.
You can't rush your healing. Darkness has its teachings. Love is never leaving.
I love you. You can't rush your healing. And you shouldn't ever feel the need to try and rush your healing. You take all the damn time in the world that you want, babe. You take all the space and all the time to heal all the things in all the ways.
While creating part 2 of the known documentary series expressing all that she had learned along her implicit revelations journey, Kristin spent many hundreds of hours talking to herself in a mirror. The format of her video creations was her being interviewed and expressing her ideas. But while she was in this imaginary interview, she was actually talking to herself in a mirror and creating new associations with herself because she had no sense of self after experiencing all of the healing over the previous years, which you can find out more about in part 1 of the known documentary series. The completed video series of Known Part 2 totaled over 25 hours, but much more was recorded and every video was edited several times, also while practicing social self-engagement using mirrors. Before and after these excursions of talking to herself in mirrors, expressing the ideas she'd learned along her implicit revelations journey, she sang to herself in mirrors, nourishing internal attachments through melodic marathons. Incredible miracles unfolded, and Kristin finally actually started to feel like herself in the autumn of 2021. Less than 1 year after her brain and body had started to regain the capacity to create new conscious explicit memories.
Alright, so here's another mirror practice. The very first time I did that, I had to lay down and close my eyes. And I'll connect with me while there's a bunch of clickety-clacks, which is when there's rapid eye blinking and yawning, which is neural stuff getting processed, and I have to drop everything and practice loving presence so the neural integration can complete and more parts of my consciousness can come home. But this time I needed to just lay down and close my eyes, and that very rarely happens. So that's how I know this is a good one. How far should the mirror be from my face? Visual distance impacts neural activity and connects with different aspects of consciousness. Consciousness has trillions of parts and they're all flowing through this complex neural wiring. And so when you're activating different aspects of neural wiring, then you're connecting with different parts of consciousness who are experiencing that neural wiring beyond awareness. When we look at ourselves in a mirror, whether we're directly looking at ourselves or whether our peripheral vision is looking at ourselves, the automated manner in which we experience that reality depends on how neural wiring is navigating life, identity, and personal experience. I'm talking to myself in this mirror. Lots of mirrors, all the mirrors. Mirrors are going to be like my thing. So this was touching on a different element of peripheral vision. And this did something very unique to my brain. So I was curious. About it. Really surreal to be alive. Okay, so I was curious about it. Yeah, I know, right? Even more surreal to recognize the sound of my voice and my face in a mirror. I wonder if that will ever not trip me out. Profound aspect of all of this is how it deeply intertwines science and spirituality. I think that's probably one of the coolest things about this. Oh my God, my life is an impossible miracle. My life is an impossible miracle and none of it makes sense and it's all beautiful. It's all so beautiful. It's all so beautiful. It's so weird to recognize myself in the mirror.
It's different. Somehow, some way, something about recognizing myself in a mirror today is different. I see me with more clarity somehow. I see me with more connection somehow. I see me with a deeper sense of self-resonance.
Yep, okay, so it's confirmed there are aspects of my inner child who are here orienting as the adult she is today for the very first time. It fits exactly my theory! Neural activity from a few years ago is activated in navigating my sense of self when I'm 1 foot away from a mirror, whereas more updated recent neural data is activating when I'm 3 feet away from the mirror, and that's providing automated translations of reality in accordance with my self-recognition. Just a thought, though. You know, just a thought.
Wow, that is profound. That is profound. I didn't realize that it was still this much stuff to heal. Bring it on. But this is fascinating. Instead, there were discrepancies regarding the implicit energetic components of self-resonance. That is an incredible way to put that. Whoa, where did that come from? You just whipped that out your buttocks? That is a great phrase. Implicit energetic components of self-resonance. I love that. Oh my God.
And this could be used for in a lot of cool ways too, because you could be creating new self-associations with your voice, self-associations with your body, because it combines it with mirror practices, and you're building new neural pathways because you're using mantras. Aspects of the inner child who are seeing the adult that she grew up to be for the very first time. So miraculous. Self-recognition, which connects with the explicit elements of inner and outer realities connecting through the body, and self-resonance, which is the implicit energetic particulars allowing for self-association throughout parts of consciousness, or as parts of consciousness experience that form of self-association and connectivity while sharing the experience of the brain and the body. I don't know anything. Not even one thing is the thing that I know. So, that's where it connects. So, with my idea of using, release all attachment to outcomes, just flowing. I know nothing. I allow the divine to work through me. Whew, this is like so revolutionary. I don't even know what to do with myself. Like, what? Who am I? It's awesome. I don't know anything. So cool. Using mirrors to assess subconscious health. There's ways to apply it in reference to specific subconscious parts. And then there's a lot more power for understanding and healing because you're working directly with consciousness and not just brain-body wiring. That was her whole theme. That was Kristin's whole theme, was using consciousness to heal the brain and the body, not just trying to heal the mind or change the brain-body wiring, but specifically working with consciousness. A way to assess and heal the unconscious body-mind or subconscious realms by harnessing the power of consciousness. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Oh, I like that. A healing journey clarifier. Integration is never the goal. Loving presence is the goal. Integration happens naturally once loving presence is achieved. Wow, I love that. Because if I were to be here being like, okay, integration is my goal, then I'm assessing where I was, where I want to be, and I'm trying to change the reality I'm experiencing. But if my goal is love and presence, then I release all resistance. And in that space of surrender, the healing happens naturally, resulting in something way better than trying to get there. It's like I'm seeing different aspects of my consciousness. There's different aspects of my consciousness who are experiencing the mind of perceiving, and there are different aspects of consciousness experiencing being seen in the body. And those are all subconscious parts in experience within and beyond awareness. And then there's the observational self who is guiding the experience in the mind with direct connection to the parts of consciousness in the first subconscious layer. From that space, there's power to aid other parts of consciousness. Consciousness is directly having that experience, but it's beyond awareness. That's the most profound part of this. It's not brain-body wiring, and it's not aspects of the self that you can perceive. It's parts of consciousness who are having their own reality far beyond what the conscious mind can understand in any capacity. Way beyond awareness. Way beyond awareness. There are aspects of the self who are directly linked with the original foundations of neural wiring. So self-resonance may arise as one of infinite potential examples when a 2-year-old version of the self recognizes the adult they are today in relation to the 2-year-old self that they understood themselves to be. Consciousness is having that experience beyond awareness in the unconscious body mind, with my conceptual theories that I've been playing with. When I'm here and I'm seeing different parts of my consciousness, is how I describe them. I'm seeing different aspects of myself. Myself, S with a capital S. I'm seeing different aspects of myself, my divine self. Yes! But there's like so many layers to it, because there's different aspects of me who are perceiving through the mind, and different aspects of me who are being seen through the body. So I don't know where to go with that or anything, but it's just really interesting because I've been exploring this topic of self-resonance. Am I seeing a different version of me? Is that the same me that I see here? And if not, or even if so, like, what does that actually mean? What does it actually mean to see a different aspect of yourself? Like, you're still you standing here, you're still you seeing, it's still just a mirror reflecting your body. So what does it actually mean if to see a completely different aspect of yourself? You know, like, what does that actually mean? Right? And so it's that there's trillions of parts of consciousness, and all of them are linked with specific elements of internal intel. The ultimate healing journey goal is uniting parts of consciousness to heal brain-body wiring through the power of love and presence. So just some case study notes. I think I'm gonna be doing this case study till I die. I think I'm gonna be doing my implicit revelations case study until I die. So that's cool. Just picture me 90 years old. Today's case study notes. It feels like I know nothing and I have everything because I am everything, and in that space, knowing is irrelevant because I am all of it. So that's kind of a cool divine way to put it.